And this is going to be a rematch. As we mentioned previously, ShoWTimE, this is his second time playing in our tournaments. The first time was back in April, where he did make it to the finals, but he went down to this very player in those finals. So now he's here, he's back 2 months later at his chance at revenge. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing ShoWTimE Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, playing in the Sparkling Tuna Cup for the second time. Once again, making it to the finals. Once again, up against ByuN in the finals. The deja vu is real. Representing Sentinels, it is ShoWTimE. Demao himself. Let's go. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's Gamma time. It's Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 5 TvP. As a reminder, this is a prediction for the entirety of the series, not just the game. So best of luck. Best of luck with your predictions. Good luck. Good luck. Also, if you would like to support us in another way outside of just Patreon, I mean, you can become a patron or you can subscribe on Twitch. Both are different ways to gain access to our Discord server where we do give out replay packs of these tournaments. Again, we do hand out a lot of replay packs from tournaments that we have permission to share, of course. So there are some events that we aren't able to share replays, but others where we can. Events like this, like Sparkling Tuna Cup, events like the StarCraft Evolution League, for example, Kung Fu Cup, and many others. So you want some of those replays, and we got you covered via either Patreon or via subscribing. Otherwise, here we go. We are settling in. So far, double gas opener out of ByuN, going for a faster factory. Welcome to Pylon. Pylon is known for being a very aggressive map, short rush distance by ground, very direct rush distance as well. So aggression is favored here on Pylon, and we'll see what ByuN goes for. We have the answer: Reactored Reaper Hellion. Now, from here we can commit into 4 Reapers and 2 to 3 Hellions, or we can cut a little bit earlier. We'll see how hard ByuN commits into Reaper Hellion. And the goal here is going to be economic damage. It's going to be 4 economic damage. As progression is underway, or production is underway. The first zealot has arrived to delay the CC. Not bad. Will delay. So far does delay by a second. Lycos Reaper's back on that zealot. We'll focus it down. Depths are on the way. Oh. And so far, with the help of the Hellion, ByuN should be okay. We'll lose 1 Reaper. 1 Reaper goes down. SCV does fall as well. Will delay the expansion. Not bad. As ByuN has to go back here to the low ground. Has to rebuild. Has to reproduce. Get back on that CC. And from here, how many Reapers and Hellions do we have? We have 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. The goal here is to bust into the mineral line. The wall is not yet complete. There is a bit of an opening, but ShoWTimE, he's in position. It will zone. Nice target firing. Does focus on the Hellion. Boys are being pulled. Despite that, bleeds out a couple of workers. 1, 2, 3 probe kills. Gets 3 workers so far. Busts into the main, and with that, he will scout. He will confirm the tech of choice. Oh, not quite yet, but the probes are lining up. Probes are lining up, getting up to 5 kills, getting 6, 7. Oh my god. Getting 7 worker kills here in the main. Getting up to 8. Oh, that is brutal damage. And with that, ByuN does take a lead. Again, his CC may have been delayed, but he gets 8 probe kills across the map. Reaper Hellion, well worth it. Well worth it for ByuN. Behind this, going for his own 3-1-1 setup. Do you see what I see? I see a 3rd Rax without a starport. So this is the first sign here of an all-in. Here we go. So this is the first sign. From here, we're going to be delaying the starports and delaying the medevac production in favor of earlier stim, mass marine production as well. Let's commit. go. Safety bunker has been placed. ShoWTimE, he does move out himself. We do have a 3-gate setup here, 3-gate and a robo before the throws, so this is a much more aggressive setup here from ShoWTimE. Not an all-in by any means, he should still be expanding behind this. Here comes a probe for the expansion, but with this, ideally ShoWTimE is here to delay the push, to contain, and to disrupt. As ByuN is still stuck at home waiting for his starport. ShoWTimE rotating in towards the main. There's a tank behind this. Yeah, tank boy's going up. Oof. Prism taking a lot of hits as well, and ByuN, he's holding. So far, so good. He's holding on. ShoWTimE looking for another way in. And ShoWTimE, he thinks about it. Doesn't quite go for the dive. He does not dive. ByuN is secure. ShoWTimE does have eyes on the main army. Rotates towards the gas geyser. Gets a couple of SCVs, not bad. Stim is done. And ShoWTimE will bleed out 1, 2 stalkers, 3. Oh, yeah, 3 stalkers go down. Some rough losses. That should not have happened. So a slip of in control there from ShoWTimE, but still being active. And ByuN is just waiting for his upgrades. Waiting for Stim. Combat shields +1 is halfway done. Because the shell just began, and soon ByuN will break out. Now, ideally, ShoWTimE is going to be here to slow down the army, to pick away at the medevacs, maybe catch a tank. ShoWTimE is still reinforcing. You know what, ByuN, he does leave his tanks behind, so he's not going for an all-in here. I don't see any extra Raxes. Just a 3-rack setup. So as he moves out, he can still expand. Can get a 3rd CC. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE working towards... Oh, let's get both observers. ShoWTimE working towards the Dark Shrine. Yep, there's that 3rd CC on the way. And ShoWTimE, he bypasses the main army. We could end up in a weird base trade. Let's go. Does dive in. Takes down the Widow Mines. The boys are being pulled. ByuN, he commits across the map. We're sending it. We're just sending it here. It's all or nothing. Marines and Marauders are holding their own. They're trying to stim. Boys are being pulled. At the same time across the map, what do we have to defend? Oh, a depowered Robo. Robo is depowered, but the Dark Shrine can be a factor in this game. If the CC start going down, there's going to be limited scans. ByuN takes over the natural. Does take over. Sims into the main base. The Dark Shrine. That's not going to finish. Yeah, it's not going to finish. Forced to cancel. Dark Shrine doesn't compete, so CC goes down. ByuN down to 1 expansion, but ByuN, he has a lot of bases to bring down here. There's a lot of expansions. Takes down the main. Going for the production. Depowers everything. Depowers the gateways. Oh, ShoWTimE bleeding out a lot of stalkers. The boys are being pulled. A lot of stalkers are going to be going down. And ByuN, he's holding. ByuN, he's holding here. With his reinforcements, with his production. Takes down so many stalkers. And ByuN is not stopping. He's not stopping across the map. CC does lift, does evacuate. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he... Oh, just realized I misspelled his name. There we go. GG, well played. ByuN, he does claim the first game. Again, unfortunately, despite I should say ShoWTimE initiating the base trade first, he did hit the natural first. He was able to get there initially and try to break through. Unfortunately, ByuN, he had plenty of reinforcements. He had Marines, he had Marauders, he had the boys to be pulled as well. Meanwhile, across the map, ShoWTimE, he had no reinforcements. He was warping in across the map, not back at him to defend, and he just did not have enough. Could not keep up. ByuN was just out trading his opponent, and with that, GG, well played, did overwhelm. There was a chance with the Dark Shrine. Unfortunately, it was too late. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. Unfortunately, it was in the main base as well. If it was at the 3rd or the 4th base, it would have been hidden, and the Dark Shrine was a non-factor. It didn't play a part. Did not play a part in that base trade, and with that, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Blue Terran leading the series 1-0, and moving out with an early SCV. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels down in the series. We'll see if he bounce back. It is ShoWTimE. Hello. So initially I thought it was going to be an eBay block because I only saw one SCV, but now we have two. We have one already across the map. The second SCV is moving in. We are going for the proxy 2 racks. Oh boy. Raxes are on the way. ByuN looking to spice things up even further here with the proxy. And we'll see if ShoWTimE can find this. So we have our 2 racks set up. ShoWTimE does move out across the map. I'm catching up. When do you sleep, brother? Thanks for the cheese off your cast. Dziękuję, papi, dziękuję. De nada. Good to see you. Good to see you. I did sleep for 4 hours. I had 4 hours sleep after Philadelphia, and then bam, we were live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. And then we're gonna be casting. We're gonna be covering GSL. How long from now? In around 12 hours. In 12 hours time, I should be able to get some good sleep tonight, though. I'm looking forward to it. As we are going proxy marauder here. So 2 racks marauder out of ByuN. The probe scout does confirm the Rax is missing. The Rax is nowhere to be found. ShoWTimE is somewhat aware something is wrong, and should be getting a safety shield battery. There we go. Shield batteries on the way. Adept is being chronoed. Okay, ShoWTimE not fully aware of what's happening. Meanwhile, shattered to the tuna. It's beautiful. And ShoWTimE going for a robo response. Okay, with that we'll have access to early immortal production. But can he get there in time? Now getting a second shield battery. A third shield. Jesus. 3 shield batteries. They're taking this very seriously. But is it going to be enough? Marauders have arrived. Getting up to 3. Bunkers on the way. Again, throwing down even more shield batteries. Getting up to 5, 6. 6 shield batteries at the natural. And that one adept is holding on. The one adept is immortal. As there are just so many shield batteries. And ShoWTimE is just buying time for what? For the immortal. The immortal's on the way, being chronoed as we speak. Just needs a little bit more time. Adepts delays the bunker. Delays for a moment. The bunker is ready. Likewise going for the Artosis pylon. Oh no! Yeah, the pylon is going to go down. One more volley depowers everything. Oh no, the pylon count is up there. Second pylon gets targeted, and despite all the shield batteries, they do nothing. They do nothing. They mean nothing. There are no pylons. Everything's depowered. Not like this. Okay. We're getting repowered. We're okay. We're getting the tasteless pylon, the state pylon, but there's just too many marauders. Too many marauders. The immortals go down, and so does everything. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will extend his lead 2-0 in the finals, 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, ByuN, he will extend his lead here. Again, unfortunately, there was only one pylon. There was only one pylon for so long, and despite the fact that we had backup pylons finishing up, they were just targeted down. They were just targeted down one after the other. Of course, the marauders were very robust, so the adepts were tickling those marauders. They could just freely focus on those pylons, and despite the fact that we had 6, soon to be 7, soon to be 8 shield batteries, did not matter. Did not matter. Everything was depowered at GG, and with that, ByuN is 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. Yo, it's a fast finals. Oh my god. Haven't seen a straight game since I joined the stream. You say that, I mean, you might have joined a little bit later. We did cast some more standard ZVPs earlier between Ledlix and Iba and Christiana, and I would say a lot of those games were a little bit more straightforward. But we didn't really have much cheese. There were some all-ins there, don't get me wrong. Only some. But here we go, spawning in the bottom hand corner of torches. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Oh, Leading the series 2-0, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the German Protoss representing Sentinels, down heavily in the series. He has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. The pressure is on. It is a ShoWTimE. We go. Last game, ByuN got Concussive Shell that fast. Yes. The purpose of Proxy Marauder is to hit with Concussive Shell. Hit with those upgrades. This time we do have ByuN opening up double gas with the ranks back at home. No proxy this time, no proxy, but with a double gas opener we can go into a faster factory, and this can lead a couple different ways. We saw in game 1 it was faster factory into reactor Reaper Hellion. Here we could see the same builds. I wouldn't really be fond of it though, just because of the limited clip faces here on torches. Instead, we can go for an earlier Tech Lab into Cyclone Job. We can go into early Tech Lab into Cyclone, into Add-on Swap, into Banshee play, into Cloak Banshee. ByuN has options. Banshee play is quite popular here just because the rush distance by air is very short. I mean, by ground it's short as well, but even shorter by air. Meanwhile, I just spoke about the Reaper Cliffs. As you can see here, there's no way to gain access to the main base via the the triangular third location. So Reaper Cliffs are quite limited here. And we can see no reactor. So no reactor this time. Opening up Reaper into factory. Likewise, no early Tech Lab, no add-on swap. Our eyes are on ByuN. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE, he was able to scout, able to confirm that we had a standard Rax timing. But that does zone away. And ByuN is going to stop Reapers at 2. So 2 Reapers by ByuN. 1 Hellion going into the starport. From here, we can go into drop play. We can go into a Widowmine follow-up. We'll see. Says that Tech Lab. Okay, got my attention. So initially Reaper Hellion for map control to harass across the map, followed by the Tech Lab, followed by early Cyclone. Nothing crazy yet. As Reaper Hellion does dive into the mineral line, and we'll see what he can get done as the Reapers are very low. So far just getting 1 and only 1. Only 1 probe kill. Nice defense by ShoWTimE. Does shut down ByuN. Behind this, working towards the Twilight Council with the blink into a bit of a gateway explosion. So 3-gate blink out of ShoWTimE into a Robo. If you recall, we saw the same setup in game 1 on Pylon. So standard opener out of ShoWTimE. Playing relatively safely. With this, you can go for an early War Prism to try to harass across the map. Or he can go for an Observer and expand. Speaking of, Probe is getting in position. Behind this, we do keep the Tech Lab on the factory, going for the early tank. So tank production has begun. And we're assuming tank into Raven. And there we go, Raven's on the way. Not being overly aggressive. Cyclone does focus down the Stalker, not bad. Oh, but does trade. That was not worth it. Cyclone for a Stalker. And we can see we have the answer here. It was not a Prism, it was Observer. So Robo into the Observer into a faster third. So ShoWTimE is being more economic, as opposed to game 1 where he was more aggressive. So a little bit more economic here by ShoWTimE, faster third. Now taking up into charge. And the pressure is now on ByuN. Now ByuN, he didn't see the third base timing, but he did see the probe. He saw the probe getting in position, so he's somewhat aware. Ooh, does catch the Observer. Keen eyes out of ByuN. Takes down the Observer, working towards Stim. Our eyes are going to be peeled here, looking for extra Raxes. He's up to a 3-1-1 setup for the time being. And we'll see if he throws down a 4th and 5th racks. Or, if not, might just expand. Oh. Ooh, the Raven is hard to down. Nice pickup. Very nice. Again, ByuN, he's one of those Terran players that's willing to play macro. Like, if you recall, game 1, even though we had a base trade, ByuN had a 3rd CC on the way. Like, he was willing to get into a longer mid-game. I would say ByuN is more willing to do so, more so than Cure, for example. Like, Cure is a lot more willing to just send it, just pull the boys. ByuN less so. Not saying that he never does, but less so than someone like Cure or someone like Maru. ShoWTimE does move out. A Bay is on the way. Here comes the mass on siege. Here comes the move out. ByuN is about to push. As he moves out, ShoWTimE is ready for the backstab. So he does need to spot this. Hallucination comes in. And ShoWTimE does confirm. He does see the move out. Here comes that Prism. Right into the main. So very nicely timed. Does drop into the main base. Boy's going to be pulled away. And ByuN turns around. He turns around. He does race back home. At the same time, gets 7 probes across the map. Not bad. Takes down 7 workers. Meanwhile, back at home, he doesn't lose any SCVs. But this does keep him busy. It's going to be 2 SCV kills. 2 SCVs going down. ByuN back to mining. And we're still waiting for a 3rd CC. We haven't gone there yet. That drop is still a threat. As once again, the ByuN moves out. This time he's ready at home. This time he's ready for the Prism. ByuN does push. Back at home, there should be a Colossus. Yeah, just in time. Colossus has arrived. Drop into the main, where ShoWTimE is on the chase. Does spot this. Is aware. Tanks, they do siege in time. ShoWTimE going to be collapsing in. Tanks, they do focus on the Zealots. They're exposed. They're going to be going down. Can they get the Colossus in time? They can and they will. The Colossus does go down. Massive pickup. Colossus falls and ShoWTimE is in trouble. He's in trouble here. The army sims in. Going for the 3rd base. Gets into the mineral line. Does focus on the Stalkers. Zealots, oh, the SimCity working against them. Yeah, they're stuck at the choke point. And it looks like ShoWTimE, he will hold on. Whew, just barely. Does hold. Gets a medevac. And behind this, late 3rd. This is a very late 3rd CC. I was expecting the 3rd base as ByuN pushed, but he got it after the push instead. Yeah, late expansion. ShoWTimE from here. He's getting a 4th base. Building up, rebuilding his Colossus. And looking much more comfortable. Oh, I say, Jesus, never mind. He's looking comfortable here, but ByuN still has a massive army going for the drop. Does go for the Doom drop in towards the main. And this needs to get damage done. Again, this 3rd base is late for ByuN. He's going to commit. ShoWTimE somewhat in position. 2 Colossus at the natural. Drop comes in. Colossus does respond. That's a lot of Widow Mines. But remember, no more tanks. Latches going off. Ooh, they do shut down the Zealots. Zealots are going down, but the Colossus Ace do stand the ground. ByuN has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. ShoWTimE holds. ShoWTimE, he does hold. ByuN, that was not quite good enough. Again, still needs to expand. He does keep up with the Prism. Does run away. Vikings now in production. And ShoWTimE building up to 4 Colossus. Gee, that's a lot of Colossus. Getting up to 4. Colossus on the way. Eventually, this should lead into either Storm or Disruptor production. One or the other. Or both. ShoWTimE claiming another expansion. ByuN now takes his third, going for the triangular third base. A little more exposed, a little more out in the open. But he does finally expand. And we do have a game. Here. For the most part, ByuN, he's stuck at home, still building up more Vikings, still building up his Ghost for EMPs. Prism is finally called out. Nice pickup. Takes down the Prism. Catching out those charge lots as well. But the game is slowing down, right? The game is slowing down. ShoWTimE now getting another expansion. Disruptor production has begun. He still only has one robo, which is a big concern. We should be seeing a second robo momentarily to build up those disruptors. And for the first time in this finals, we're getting into the mid game. Getting into the mid game here. Both armies maxing out. Almost there. Base is denied. And pushing in. He's got his EMPs. Oh, does land. Yeah, brutal EMPs on the Colossus. Shields are stripped away. Then another EMP. And the Colossus are going to be going down. He gets one already. One Colossus falls. StarCraft melt against the Bio. And ByuN, he steps in. Oh, never does connect. Never popping up. It's still going to be quite close here. Still so close. Stems in. He wants those Colossus. And he gets one more. Up. He tries to. Barely not enough. Barely not. It's so close. Milders a rush forward. No, it does not connect. Clutch pickup. Whew. And ByuN pulls away. ByuN, he pulls away. ShoWTimE, he barely does survive. Now he was forced to cancel his fifth. Now does retake it. Over on the right hand side instead. And does survive with two Colossus. Whew. Does make it out. Meanwhile, ByuN, he has no chill. Still rallying across. He's down to 0 ghosts. No EMPs. Oh. No EMPs left. He's up against 2 disruptors. ByuN, he's calming down. Backing off. Now getting a 4th on location. Getting to a back and forth mid game. Neither player really has the breathing room here to try to take up. Not yet. Otherwise, it'd be working towards Liberators or towards Skytoss. I'm still most concerned by the lack of extra robo from the side of ShoWTimE. There's still no second robo. So the splash damage is quite limited. Nice ByuN trading with the Zealots. No major pickups yet. ShoWTimE now back up to 3 Colossus. Disruptors moving in. Here comes the Novas. Oh! Ooh, late reaction. Teasing connections. Okay, teasing connections. ByuN has to get the hell out of here. Has to kite back. Army's getting low. ShoWTimE is holding his own. And ByuN's still just building up that... That's... Said Viking count. Building up that ghost count. Getting up to how many? Up to 5 ghosts. Does move out for the drop. ShoWTimE moving in. ByuN, where are we headed? ByuN once again being active. ShoWTimE is keeping up. Once again, both armies are maxing out. So we have a 4th Colossus on the way. There's the second robo. Let's go. Second robo is in production. Dark Shrine as well. ShoWTimE catching out a ghost. Not bad. Goes down. At the same time, Prism into the main. ByuN out of position. Okay, As if he's going to be going down, he does race back home. Stims all the way back. At the same time, main army towards the 4th base, ByuN out of position. Base has to be lifted. Get some nice EMPs on the Zealots. Oh my god. Clutch splits. Does split in time, but still 12 SCV kills. Still brutal damage. And ShoWTimE mass expanding. Just taking more bases, going for the gold. Now, the unfortunate thing here about torches is, unlike on other maps like Maganatha or Tokamak or even Leylines, these bases, or the map itself, is quite small. It's a small map, so even though ShoWTimE is mass expanding, it doesn't take long at all here for ByuN to punish those expansions. As he steps over, and he does come across the base. So I would say it's more difficult to get away with this mass expand style from ShoWTimE, just because the bases are so exposed. Neo does get a Colossus. Oh. Takes on one. Going for another. There we go. One Colossus remaining. The Viking volleys are brutal here. They are insane. Ooh, he gets a Prism. Takes down the final Colossus. Just a gateway army left. And ShoWTimE plummets in supply. Losing every Colossus. Oh, despite that, getting us up with the Ghost. Yeah, but here come the reinforcements. And ByuN, he has done it. He breaks through the main army. Again, the Colossus, they just crumbled. Down to no disruptors. Only Zealots and Stalkers. And that's it. That's not going to be enough. Once again, stimming in. ShoWTimE making 2 Colossus at a time. He's almost there. Black-West Vikings to deal with the expansion. Nexus is going down. Colossus, they arrive just in time. Oh. Colossus, they have arrived. Vikings are gonna have to lift. They're gonna have to lift. As a Colossus, they're holding their own. ShoWTimE barely trying to hold on here. And ByuN is just rallying in. And it's not enough. Yeah, he cannot rally. Yeah, Colossus, they arrived just in time to hold on. And ShoWTimE didn't really lose many workers. Did lose a base. Did lose an expansion. But he's holding. Whew, he's barely holding on. Again, ByuN, he threw away all his Vikings. Has to rebuild. ShoWTimE, he survives. As Liberos are moving out. Second starport now for ByuN. He's trying to expand. Oh. He's getting distracted. Is pulled away by the Zealots. Colossus moving in once again. In this kind of game state, it's one of those things where we should be taking up a little bit further here, but ShoWTimE has no money. Again, he's just been spending everything here to rebuild the Colossus, to maintain his losses. Expansion's going to go down. Brutal EMPs. Toss blank of those Zealots. EMPs do connect. And the head-on fights, I do favor ByuN for the time being. Unfortunately, no disruptors. No disruptor, no storm. 3 Colossus and a gateway army. And ShoWTimE out of position. He does rotate towards the right. ByuN moves in on the left and goes to the base. Goes to the expansion. At the same time, ShoWTimE does arrive with the run-by. Does hit the right-hand side. Nexus does go down. And ShoWTimE, he needs a base. Needs an expansion. He's just heavily oversaturated. Needs to get something up and running. ByuN does take bottom left. We see ShoWTimE double expanding, getting the center base and the base on the right hand side. ShoWTimE does get 10 SCVs. does claim 10. ByuN has just such a heavy Marauder army here. He's got how many? He's got 35 Marauders. He has more Marauders than Marines. 36 Marauders. Dust him in. The EMPs do land. Oh, but the Zealots are doing a great job tanking. But the kiting is brutal here. Zealots are going down. And once they do fall, this army is built to dive in Colossus. It's built to tank. Yeah, stimming forward once again. Yeah, breaks through the Gateway army, gets over the Colossus. Does try to. Barely not. As both Colossus do barely survive. Once again, a very close fight. ShoWTimE barely holding on. Spaces are getting up. They're getting there. Once again, stimming in. Trying to dive on those Colossus. And he's so close. He's so close. He gets one. There's one left. And he's done it. He has finally done it here. He breaks the back of ShoWTimE. GG gets called. And ByuN, he will claim the series 3-0. Becoming this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. A very intense game here on Torches, and it's something that you don't really see too often here. Because the map is so small, we often get shorter games on Torches, but here we had a rare sight where the aggression was kind of barely not working, forcing a longer game. Both players were able to get their base count up and running, but again, because the map is so small, we saw just how uncomfortable the players were. It was very difficult for both players to get their bases up and running, to maintain those expansions as well. It hurt ShoWTimE more so than ByuN. ByuN had map control for the most part. He had a more active army, he had more map control, and he was able to deny bases, and ShoWTimE just could not expand. He could not keep up. Again, there was just so little room between ShoWTimE and ByuN where he just could not expand and could not save any of those nexi. GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN did barely overrun. Was not the cleanest of games, but regardless, GG. GG, well played. Oh, ByuN, he will claim the series, and he will be our Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. Congratulations. A shout out to ShoWTimE, of course. This is now the second time that ShoWTimE has met his end at the hands of ByuN in our tournaments. And we'll see if we can bring it back next time. We had a very chaotic series here. Remember, game 1 was a base trade, game 2 was a proxy, game 3 was more of a macro game, kind of. Like, still very aggressive between the players, still very intense, but a bit of a longer one. GG. GG, well played. We got a little bit of everything here between our two players. And again, a shout out to ShoWTimE. He's a strong player in his own right. Just having a bit of a harder time here against ByuN specifically. GG. Just catching up. Just catching up. More disruptors. Oh, the problem there, if you recall, because of the lower gas count, because of the delayed economy, it's not like ShoWTimE was banking gas or anything like that. Like, no, his economy was actually just quite limited. That's why it took him so long to get a second robo, because he didn't really have the income for it. Eventually, he did get his second robo, but alas, we did need, you know, those supportive units like those disruptors to help support the Colossus. Relying on just one form of splash damage, it's hard to get away with here in TvP, especially as the game progresses. As you saw, once you get a high enough Viking counts, again, you do need to switch to something else, whether it's Storm or Disruptors. But ShoWTimE wasn't quite able to maintain that kind of army, and again, was kind of strapped for cash. Strapped for resources. GG. GG, well played. Are Immortals better than Colossus now? It is viable to go for a very Immortal heavy composition. If you were watching Max Packs like last year, I say last year, if you remember when the Disruptor got nerfed, when the radius was reduced and when the damage was reduced as well, I want to say in the month after that patch was when Max Packs and Trigger and some of the other Protoss players, they were playing around a lot with double Robo Immortal production instead. To go into a more Immortal heavy style. It does seem viable for sure, but it's also a little bit niche. Like, it's specifically designed to try to shut down heavy Marauder play for sure. That's where it can be successful. Love to send the wounded Sorkers and Zelsa heal. Oh right, the healing pad, yeah. There was a healing pad on that map, true. We never got to see it used, but it was there, it was present. Playing No Storm versus Terran just doesn't work most of the time. I mean, you can, of course, make it work. Like, we do see plenty of players going to Colossus and going to more robo-heavy compositions with success, for sure. Like, as we mentioned, like, a big part of, like, how uncomfortable ShoWTimE was this game was just the map itself, right? Like, there was just so little room to breathe and so little room to just have a moment to even just stabilize on a base count and get his economy up and running. Like, we saw just expansion after expansion just knocked down time and time again. ShoWTimE just could not maintain that economy, right? GG. But with that, congratulations here to ByuN. He will claim his win once again as he is catching up to Cristiano when it comes to Sparkling Tuna Cup wins. Again, ByuN is very active when it comes to the online tournament scene. Congratulations to ByuN. And when it comes to the rest of our schedule, let us switch on over and catch up on our schedule here. I believe, do we have it updated? There we go. We have our weekly schedule here. Now, as you can see, we do have a couple of free afternoons. The reasoning for this is RSL. This week is the Revival StarCraft League, and I'm still a little bit torn about it. What I mean by that, they did announce, the RSL, they did announce that they're open to co-streaming, which means we have permission to co-stream if we do wish. Co-streaming is kind of like a viewer party where we can restream their stream and we can, like, you know, commentate over it and talk over it and have like that viewer party experience. We did that during DreamHack, if you remember, during DreamHack Dallas, and during some of the EWC broadcasts as well, which I was fine with, of course. But it feels kind of weird to do that to RSL, or to do that for RSL, just because it feels like the Revival StarCraft League is already like a community event, right? It's already like a community, like, crowdfunded grassroots event, so it feels kind of weird to co-stream. Obviously we have permission to, but yeah, I'm still on the fence, still very much on the fence about it. But that's why we have some of those afternoons off. So again, RSL is going to be in that time slot on Wednesday and on Friday, and on Thursday as well, but that's when we have the podcast. So that's going to be the Revival StarCraft League. Meanwhile, we're going to be catching up on GSL. We have GSL at 9 a.m. KST. That's going to be 10 a.m. AEST. That'll be in 11 hours. In 11 hours time, we're going to be live on this channel with Group A of the quarterfinals of GSL. So Group A is going to be Monday, which is, again, is in 11 hours. Group B is going to be on Tuesday, and of course the semis and the finals will be on Thursday. We are going to be catching up with the GSL broadcast. Likewise, we have the Woody TV Monday on Monday as well. We have the Pigasaur Cup on Wednesday. We have the Pondcast, Kung Fu Cup, StarCraft Evolution League. We have the Brazilian Sacramento Circuit. We have Tuna Cup as well. Now, something that is missing here from this schedule, which is also why it looks a little bit more leaner than usual, is the EWC Global Qualifiers. That's going to be over the weekend. And the only reason why we haven't added it yet is because I don't think we have confirmed times. Like, I don't think that the times of the qualifiers have been made public yet, so we still have to wait for that to be released, and then we can add it. Then we can add the EWC qualifiers, but that is going to be this weekend. Esports World Cup, and we should be all over that. On the channel, just waiting for news to be released as to when it's live. Likewise, that's the Brazilian Sacramento Circuit. That's the offline event happening in Brazil. That's going to be on Sunday. It's going to be this weekend. And again, we'll see what we do when it comes to these other afternoons on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Like RSL, basically at this time. RSL will be playing at this time. And we might just have some afternoons off, you know? Like, I mean, I still have work to do. I can still edit VODs and schedule VODs and work on social media. But yeah, I might just chill and just watch RSL. Just watch RSL. For those that are curious, the RSL is the Revival StarCraft League. It is an initiative, a crowd-funded initiative by States and Tasteless and Ziggy and Gemini. All the StarCraft 2 figures in the Korean scene, the English figures, did pull together their resources and create a Patreon and created a crowdfunding initiative for a big online tournament with an offline playoffs. So yeah, it's honestly really important. I feel like I feel like this is another reason why I don't want to be like, I don't want to detract from it, is because it's potentially the future of StarCraft post EWC, right? It's like the ESL Pro Tour is no longer a thing, right? We no longer have a Pro Tour, so now crowdfunded tournaments are that much more important, and that's where the RSL comes into high gear. Part of me wishes that maybe it should have been like post EWC, but it's like in the middle of EWC. Regardless, it's a big event, and I believe they have season 2 confirmed as well. And yeah, it's a way to host StarCraft and have this high quality production value as well, I would imagine, for the main event. And I wish them the best. I wish them the best with their initiative. And again, it's events like this which are even more important here to support and to fund and to get behind, just because these are the events that we're going to have to rely on, especially during the off season in between EWCs, assuming that we even have an EWC next year. So yeah, it's gonna be that much more important. So do support them, do check them out. Shout out to those working behind the scenes at RSL. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. And again, we'll be back in 11 hours with GSL, with the GSL broadcast. And if you can't watch that live, then you can check us out over on YouTube, ! Socials in the chat. We are live on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. We do upload VODs on YouTube on a daily basis. So if you see something that you want to watch live, but you can't watch it because of our time zone, then YouTube is the place to be for that VOD content. So do check us out on YouTube. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, Patreon is the place to be to support Sparkling Tuna Cup. This is a tournament that we've been running for years at this point. Again, this is Sparkling Tuna Cup 94. So we've been running it for a very, very long time. And it is all funded via Patreon. So if you want to help support this tournament, you can do so via Patreon as well. I was just discussing crowdfunding RSL. I mean, now is the time where these crowdfunding tournaments are that much more important, whether it's RSL, whether it's Sparkling Tuna Cup, whether it's KSL, they have their own Patreon, whether it's, I know Wardy, he has his own Patreon for his events. I know that, who else? Euthermal, he has his own Patreon for the 2v2 tournaments. There's just like a lot of crowdfunding going on. It can be a bit much because there's a lot of it, right? I fully understand, but you know, I do recommend supporting StarCraft where you can, when you can, to help keep all of this going, to help keep these leagues or these tournaments going strong as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. We're going to be heading off for the time being. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so give them some love, give them some support as well. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Thanks for watching. GG, well played. Shout out to ByuN, of course. Shout out to ShoWTimE for coming second place, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy yourselves. Take care. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.